Hi, I'm Danni King and this is the story of the IMS, the International Music Summit, which now signals the official start to the Ibiza summer. The IMS brings so many of the electronic music scene's great minds together for 3 days of forward-thinking, exciting conversation. Panels and discussions are complemented by 2 show-stopping events held in the iconic heritage site of Dolce Villa, a real Ibiza landmark. In 5 short years, the IMS has grown tremendously, so join me as I meet the partners whose passion for our scene helps an event like this get off the ground. I also catch up with some of the artists and we take a peek at some of the panels to show you exactly what goes on inside those 4 walls that get so many people excited. First up, it's one of the founders, Danni. A lot of people work enormously hard all year round, to get this show on the road, but there's 5 founders, isn't there? 5 partners. Yeah. Can you tell us a little bit about the other guys?
There's obviously there's myself and there's a guy called Pete Tong. I think most people will know who Pete is. Kind of godfather of our scene, I think, to a degree, and probably the most successful radio broadcaster in our genre.
Well, congratulations. This IMS was fantastic.
It's turning into what we always wanted it to be. I think there's one thing that you have to be patient for, which is just the thing has to mature. And I think we reached 5 years this year, and it's done just that.
Simeon, friend, is one of the other partners, and he owns the Shop company, which is an events company based here in Ibiza, and is fantastic with logistics and so on. And it pulls together the great event up in Dolce Villa. And then Mark Netto.
Allow me to introduce you to Mark Netto. What's your role within the actual IMS team?
I don't think we actually ever really defined or said we'll be responsible for different things, but it just seemed to have developed organically. I deal a lot with the local promotion, promoting the grand finale. Then obviously we all bounce off ideas off each other, some of us may be more positive, others are more cynical, some are more pragmatic. I think between the 5 of us, we come up with a pretty complete picture.
Then we've got Ben Turner, who again has amazing knowledge of our scene.
But my sort of pet area is, along with Pete, is the panels and the content and sort of curating those.
If the new era is we have to come back to New York to hit an Aglia play just like we used to have to do in the mid-90s, then I think that's a great thing.
We spend all year thinking about it, and really what's different about us to other conferences is that all the other conferences are run by people who just do conferences. For us, IMS is kind of the thing we do when we got a spare bit of time, which sounds crazy, but it's true.
Now you've met the driving forces behind the IMS and have an idea just how much effort goes into an event of this scale, it's time to head down to the Grand Hotel, which is the hub of all the action. It's Goldfish. Hi guys, how are you doing this fine sunny afternoon in Ibiza?
Very, very well. Just had the first day of the IMS 2012. Amazing day of panels and discussions. Just finished listening to Luciano speak, and we're inspired.
I think Ibiza is the place where everything starts and everything ends. For me, it's like when the season starts, I'm finishing a cycle from the last year probably, and I'm starting a new cycle with new people, with a new engine, with the new thematics, with a new team and everything, and this gives you a bump for the rest of the year.
2012 Ibiza Music Summit.
Ibiza Music Summit. I finally made some of it.
Should I get Professor Green down here? You could turn that into a little rap right now.
Or Dr. Seuss.
How was the panel?
The panel was cool. I quite often say things that are massively inappropriate, but the people find quite funny and endearing, which is probably why I'm here.
Inappropriate innuendos. Yeah. It's always a winner.
I think also just because I've in a short space of time I've done a lot of branding deals that have been very successful. So I have small understanding of what they wanted me to talk about.
How do you think the social networking phenomena that's kind of taken over the world nowadays, how has it affected your career, and how do you think it's changed since before? Back in the day we didn't have MySpace, YouTube, Facebook.
Yeah, no, it's opened up a whole new world for me. You know, if people didn't know about Cold Cox before, you go to YouTube and all my sets on YouTube instantly. You know, I play a set, and also everyone's got an opinion. So it's really hard. It was rubbish. Oh, it was brilliant, and then they all fight amongst themselves.
I just done something with O2 which had no monetary value. They used technology called Matavision, which are 360 cameras, which they had dotted about the stage and in the pit, and they filmed the whole show 360. So now my fans can go onto their YouTube channel and view the whole thing from every single...
As if they were there. So you can see you from your good side, your bad side, your ugly side, not even that you have an ugly side, but I'm sure you got a bad side.
Yeah, definitely. I have a bad side. It rears its ugly head sometimes. I mean, Ibiza tonight could definitely be one of those.
Social media plays such a fundamental part of our everyday lives. You're probably watching me right now on YouTube or Vimeo, and the chances are you saw a link on Facebook or Twitter. So it was very interesting to hear a few words from Tatiana Simonian, head of music at Twitter, especially regarding EDM, which was a hot topic for debate this year.
That electronic dance music has now been shortened to EDM. My friend Justin Barreto from the Glitch Mob, he thinks it might have something to do with Twitter. I don't know if that's true, but I would like to think so.
What does it mean? Eating donuts monthly? I don't know.
No, eating donuts like messily.
Yeah, militantly donut eating.
I did research, and the hashtag EDM is used up to 3,000 times a day on Twitter, and the peak of that was only 1 month ago at Coachella. I can't express enough how important live tweeting is, as well as on-air integration. Everyone from MTV to the Oscars has been using this.
I'm a really big fan of social media, and I really embrace it.
How often do you tweet a day? Are you a chronic tweeter or a sporadic?
If you're going to tweet, have something to say, you know.
Not just
not
dribble.
Hi, Ibiza, I'm here. I mean, that means, what does that mean?
Have you ever tweeted anything whilst drunk or otherwise?
Yeah, fucking. I was in a bar in Saint-Tropez actually, and I was tweeting, if anyone can guess where I am, I'll fly him in. And then I thought, oh shit.
Did anyone guess it?
Nah, thank God no one got it, but if they got it, I would have honoured my commitment.
Social media serves many purposes, and its power is ever growing. Having a laugh like Oakenfold on one hand, but it's hugely important for connecting people on a more serious note.
For me, it's been very important because about 1.5 years ago, I was stricken with cancer, and it was actually quite deadly. Yeah, it was. So they said to me I had to make some important decisions very quickly, and so I went home that first night, and I was really nervous, and I tried to call friends, and I don't sleep for 2 to 3 hours a night, so I went online and I wrote my first blog, and I haven't stopped since. I've done like 400 since.
And so when you did the first blog, what response did you get?
The very first blog was 120,000 people.
Nile Rodgers is such an inspirational character, and it was a real honour to meet him. His talk this year evoked so many emotions in all that witnessed it. We're going to hear more from Nile later, but for now, let's rewind as we take a look at the early IMS days.
Well, the first year we went to the Phoenicia in Santa Eulalia, and we did 1 day at Saro, and then we did a couple of days at the Phoenician, and it was quite nice to move it around a little bit.
What was the first year like?
First year was really daunting. I mean, just like this last year was, I suppose we didn't really know what we were getting into.
It was more difficult to get panellists because they don't know whether to take you serious, and you know, it was more difficult to get delegates because they didn't know if it was going to be any good.
You know, maybe we had 100 people coming in. We didn't know how it was going to go. We did our grand finale in the tennis court at Pikes. You know, times have changed.
That first day was quite magical, and what happened in that room that day, I think really gave us the belief that we were doing something a little bit different to ADE and Winter Music Conference and things like that.
There was one panel that was particularly poignant this year.
You know, but the idea this year, Ben bringing in Nile Rodgers, Giorgio Moroder, stuff like that, was pretty genius really for me.
How difficult is it to secure the likes of Moroder and Nile Rodgers, for example?
Yeah, especially on the same day. It's like, reminds me of the English joke about London buses.
Anybody who goes to do a panel like that, an interview carrying a guitar, you just know he's supremely confident.
Bernard finally said in that way that only Bernard Edwards can say, you know this shit is happening, right? So I went to this joint one night called the Gilded Grape, which was a transvestite club. And I was in the bathroom, and every now and then you go to the bathroom to use the bathroom for what they're actually meant for. But in those days, you know, bathrooms, we were doing drugs and having sex.
The office.
Party. Yeah, that was seriously, at Studio 54, that's what we called it, the bathroom, the women's bathroom, not the men. The women's bathroom was my office.
I trust.
Do you trust him?
I don't trust him with your girlfriend, but
Yeah, and normally it's some degenerate 12-year-old spotty git.
It's food poisoning, but I got the shits basically. I ate some.
Holy crap!
Holy crap! I ate some seafood, and I was like, dang, I'm gonna shit my pants if I get on this plane.
I got loads of musical influences. I mean, you know, my grandmother used to play lots of Jason Donovan and Engelbert Humperdinck records when I was growing up. So I don't embrace that. I can't even know what they are.
This has been just a very small insight into what goes on at the Grand Hotel during the IMS. There are so many thought-provoking and interesting panels, and if you want to see any info, just head over to the IMS website. Now it's party time. So this is what happens over 2 days up at Dalt Villa.
Everybody's been buzzing. Definitely the best one for me, and I mean it. I don't just mean on a pint level. I mean it on content. The panels have been amazing, really juicy stuff.
You absolutely killed it up
Oh,
there.
thank you. I had a good time.
Good job.
Look how beautiful it is. Look at it. I mean, really, I've been to Ibiza like maybe 2 times a year. I'll be here this time 3 times, and I've never seen this though.
What's up, my party people?
This man needs no introduction. It's David Guetta.
The IMS is growing so much, and I'm really impressed, by how many people from the industry was attending this year.
How was it for you?
It's good. It was a great crowd. Once it got dark, I couldn't really see anyone because there's no lights out there. So I was like, is anyone there?
Well, I can tell you that it's absolutely full. I reckon there's a few thousand out there, and most of the time the hands were in the air, and that's always a good sign, right?
Okay, cool. Well, that's good. I'm glad someone saw it.
The vibe that's going on right now is exactly like back in the day. The vibe is completely genuine, and as I said, the DNA, we're cut from the exact same mold. And the way that I look at this crowd is the same way that a crowd would react at Studio 54.
The IMS is back next year, 22nd to 24th of May. So join us then and look out for a few more around the world.